Hello everyone, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am creating with the Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil Kit of the month for September 2021 called Glimmering Build a Banner. And this kit is just that. It is designed to create a stunning foiled banner for your handmade cards. You have a combination of hot foil plates and dies to foil the sentiments and then to cut the banner parts out. As you can see on my desk, I've already foiled a bunch of sentiments in matte gold foil on various colors of cardstock. I have found it is easier to cut the paper to smaller rectangles and foil one sentiment at a time on each rectangle piece, rather than foiling several pieces at once on a larger sheet of paper. You'll notice there's a slight curve to the sentiments, and that's so that they can follow the curve of the banner. Although, you can also use other sentiments and have them work with this banner die, and I have examples for you at the end of this video. So, you're not limited just to these sentiments. You can certainly use other sentiments you might already have in your stash and have them work with this banner die. I've foiled 3 of each sentiments mainly because I like it when this banner consists of 3 sections rather than just one. But depending on the sentiment, you can make it a 1-section, a 2-section, a 3-section, or a 4-section banner, and so on. Here's a card I did for Spellbinders YouTube channel featuring the multi-sentiment that reads, "Wishing you a happy birthday." So we have a 3-part banner or 3-section banner here. And I'll show you how to make a similar card today with a similar size banner. In addition to the sentiments, you also have banner shadow pieces and banner tail pieces to foil. Here, I've foiled and already cut some out. I used Spellbinders specialty foil paper for this and matte gold foil. Now, the specialty paper foils like butter, and I never have any problems. It foils well regardless of the design of the glimmer plate, be it a skinny design plate like this one, or a very solid design like maybe one of the polka dots that I designed for Spellbinders. If you struggle with finding the best paper for hot foil stamping, I do recommend you try this paper. I also have another video exploring various paper options for hot foil stamping. Do check it out for more information. I have it linked in the cards right here and also in the description below. You have coordinating dies designed to cut the foiled sentiment and also the banner shadow and tail pieces. Spellbinders club kits are available as part of monthly club subscription only. You need to be a club member to get this kit, and this kit includes the curved glimmer sentiments, the tail and shadow glimmer pieces, the coordinating dies to cut them out, and a roll of hot foil. What is great about Spellbinders Club is that there is no minimum commitment. You can join and cancel anytime. So if you wanted to get just this one kit and not stay subscribed for the next month, you could. Although Spellbinders kits are quite fantastic and I've always been a fan. Sadly, I rarely have time to share inspiration with these kits on my YouTube channel, but I do try whenever I feel really inspired. Now, I do create a lot of the projects and videos you see on the Spellbinders website and YouTube channel with these kits, and I get to work with nearly every one of their kits, and I will say that they are very well designed and they are a treat to create with. I went ahead and cut all of these out in my platinum die cutting machine. I did that off camera. Now, I did use low-tack tape. This is Spellbinders' best ever craft tape. I love to use it for this type of task. You just need to make sure that whichever tape you are using, not to place it over the foiled section, as it might and most likely will lift some of that beautiful foiling. To create a 3-section banner, you'll need 3 sentiment sections, 2 shadow pieces, and 2 tail pieces. If you wanted to make a 1-section banner, you'll just add the tails to the sentiment section like so. Or keep on building to create a 2-section or a 3-section banner, or even a longer banner to span across a slimline card, for example. I have a link to this club subscription page in my video description below. The Glimmer Hot Foil Kit of the month is $22.50 and US shipping is included in the cost. Now, Spellbinders does ship their kits internationally to select locations, and the shipping cost varies based on the destination. You can look that up on their website. You can also mix and match the colors and have a multicolored banner instead of going with just one color. I prefer to foil sentiment pieces on colored cardstock and then just use plain white for the shadow and tail pieces. But of course, you can switch things up. Now, before I assemble the banner, I like to shape each section slightly to give it a little bit of a curve. So I simply curve the paper lightly with my fingers. Next, I add a foam square behind the center of the arch to help it keep its dimension. The foam square is just there to provide support so that the banner doesn't lay flat. Next, I adhere the pieces using glue. I add a thin line of glue along the edge of the sentiment section and adhere it onto the tail like so. So just the very edge is where I've added the glue. This helps the banner to stay dimensional and not lay flat. Keep adding glue in building your sections, alternating between the sentiment and the shadow sections, and finally, the sentiment and the tail section. Once done, I like to flip it to the back and add a large foam square connecting the small foam square that was originally placed at the top of the arch so that it also overlaps the shadow sections. This way, the large foam square holds everything in place while still adding dimension. It pushes the small foam square up and therefore pushes the top of the arch of the sentiment piece up and holds the shadow sections down, creating dimension. And then I add additional foam squares for support. These will also help me foam mount this banner onto the card. So here's a close-up of this construction. It's quite simple to put together and the result, I think, is phenomenal. I can see this banner used over and over again for a multitude of cards and occasions. Now here's another banner I've put together using the sentiments from this set. I have yours truly here, and this would make a stunning Valentine's Day card. I foiled everything in matte gold foil on Spellbinders Wild Berry cardstock, and I love this color combination. To create the card I'm sharing today, I started with an alabaster panel cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and this will make the background and the front of my card. So we're making an A2 card today. I also die cut a bunch of leaves and berries using the Spellbinders Mini Fall Blooms die set. This is a small but very mighty set. It's a fall addition to the Mini Blooms and Sprigs set released this spring. Now it's a smaller set, so the price point is very good, and it packs a punch with loads of fall leaves. I die cut a bunch from various colors of Spellbinders cardstock. I foam mounted the banner onto the alabaster panel, making sure to place the banner exactly in the center. And because I added all of that foam adhesive, you can see how nicely this ended up being popped up on the card. Dimension is everything to me. Next, I worked on assembling the berry branches. So I cut the branches themselves from 2 shades of green cardstock, and I also die cut berries from yellow, red, as well as pale and hot pink cardstock. I just used glue and adhered those onto the branches. I just added a little dot of glue. I did use my crystal katana tool to help me pick up and position the little berries onto the branches, and using a tool like that is a must-have when you're working with small pieces like these. I also assembled the acorns. I cut them out of pink. Not your traditional color choice, but I didn't want to use traditional fall colors for this card. I wanted some nice pinks and greens and orange colors. I made the acorns light pink with a hot pink top, and then the other acorns were hot pink with a light pink top. With the pieces assembled, I started to build my card by adding the images onto the banner. I simply played around with the placement and tucked leaves here and there until I was happy with the placement. I used foam adhesive squares, again, to foam mount the larger leaves, and then I used glue to add the berry branches and the smaller leaves directly onto the card. This is almost like building a real floral arrangement. You just need to take your time and play with the elements and their placement until you're happy with the results. I repeated the cluster for the bottom part of the banner. I didn't do the exact same arrangement, but pretty similar. I also added quite a few gems onto the card. I went with green and used them to fill the leaves clusters above and below the banner. In the end, I decided to add some white pen highlights to these, so I used my Sakura Jelly Roll pen in size 8 and added white line highlights to most of the die cuts. Here's a look at this card once finished, and here are a few additional cards I made using this banner Glimmer set. The birthday card was paired with the Spellbinders Simply Perfect flowers, and the Yours Truly card was paired with the flowers and a bird from the Spellbinders September 2021 large die of the month. I promised I'd show you other ways to use this banner, and here I've made several banners using other non-curved glimmer plates from my stash. Now, when you work with clear stamps, especially the skinny strip stamps, you can bend them slightly to follow the curve of the banner. And by the way, you can substitute using glimmer plates by using stamps. The glimmer plates are made out of metal, so you can't curve them. But I have found if you use a small enough plate, you can't quite tell if it doesn't follow the curve. It looks almost as if it does. The trick, like I said, is to use a small enough glimmer plate. I used sentiments from the Mini Christmas Sentiment strips and the Mini Sincere Sentiments set, and they worked perfectly for this size banner. What I loved most about these banners is that they look quite well over colored cardstock background. You don't need to add a lot more to the card to make it special, just perhaps a flower or a few leaves. Now here, I used a slightly larger sentiments from the older Spellbinders Glimmer sentiment sets, and these, as you can tell, are quite large and they don't work as well with these banners, especially that Making Spirits Bright. It's far too big and too long. While the sentiments on the other banner, the Merry Christmas, is nearly twice smaller, and they work perfectly well with a curved banner. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm so thankful you've joined me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!